There was once a man in America named Richard Coleman. He was tall, handsome, and hard-working, a man admired in his community for the way he carried himself. Richard married his first wife, Mary, when he was in his late 20s. Mary was everything a man could ask for: kind, gentle, supportive, and deeply in love with her husband. Together, they built a modest but peaceful home filled with laughter and warmth. Richard adored her. He treated her like a queen. Whenever she fell ill, he stayed by her side. Whenever she smiled, he felt like the world had lit up. Years passed, and their union was blessed with one son, David. Richard loved his son fiercely, and Mary poured her whole heart into raising the boy with discipline, respect, and love. For a time, the Coleman family was the picture of happiness. Neighbors admired them, friends envied them, and Mary felt her marriage was a gift from God. But life has its twists. At Richard's workplace, a new secretary joined the firm. Her name was Angela, young, beautiful, with striking features and a confidence that made her stand out. She was not only attractive but also charming, always flattering Richard, always finding excuses to be near him. At first, Richard resisted. He remembered Mary's gentle eyes and the home they had built. But temptation has a way of breaking even the strongest walls. Slowly, Richard began to fall for Angela. What started as small conversations in the office grew into late-night messages, secret dinners, and stolen moments. Before long, Angela revealed she was pregnant with Richard's child. The news shook Richard. He knew what it meant: if he stayed with Angela, his world with Mary might collapse. Still, he convinced himself that he had no choice. He took Angela as his second wife, justifying his decision by saying he wanted to do right by the child. Mary's heart broke the day she learned about Angela. Her once faithful husband, the man who once treated her like a queen, had now brought another woman into their lives. Richard's love for Mary began to fade. He shifted his attention to Angela, buying her new clothes, taking her on trips, pampering her with gifts and affection. Mary, who had stood with him through thick and thin, was suddenly forgotten. Nights became colder in her bed. Days became longer, filled with loneliness. She endured the whispers of neighbors, the shame of being neglected, and the pain of betrayal. But through it all, she held on for her son, David. David saw his mother's tears. He saw the way his father ignored her. From that day, a quiet determination grew in his heart. One day, he would make his mother proud, no matter the cost. Years rolled by, and David's hard work paid off. He graduated from a university with top honors, and not long after, he landed a prestigious job as a bank manager. His success filled Mary's heart with pride. He never forgot the sacrifices his mother made, the nights she went hungry to feed him, the times she encouraged him when she was in despair, the way she endured humiliation but never gave up on him. David's success transformed Mary's life. She was no longer the abandoned wife, crying alone in her room. She became the proud mother of a successful man, admired by many. People now whispered not about her pain, but about her resilience. Meanwhile, Angela's story took a different turn. The pregnancy she once used to secure her place in Richard's life ended in tragedy. She lost the baby. Year after year, she tried to conceive again, but nothing happened. She visited doctors, drank bitter herbs, prayed in silence, but motherhood never came to her. Richard, who had once adored her, began to grow cold. He compared her to Mary, who had given him a brilliant son. Slowly, the gifts stopped. The outings stopped. Affection turned into arguments, and arguments into silence. Angela realized the bitter truth: she had stolen another woman's husband, but she could not secure his legacy. One evening, Richard came home with fire in his eyes. His voice thundered through the house. "Angela, I can't keep doing this. You've given me nothing. No child, no peace. You've brought me nothing but shame." Angela's heart sank. She tried to plead, but his mind was made up. Richard gathered her belongings, opened the door, and cast her out of his house. The woman he once cherished was now nothing but a shadow of the past. Angela left in tears, realizing that love built on betrayal rarely stands the test of time. For days, Richard sat in his empty house, reflecting on his choices. He remembered Mary's laughter, her loyalty, her gentle spirit. He remembered how she stood by him when he had nothing. He remembered the son she had given him, the son who was now a successful bank manager, admired by the world. Regret ate at him like poison. One Sunday morning, Richard dressed neatly and drove to Mary's house. He found her sitting on the porch, calm as ever. David was inside, reading. Richard knelt before her, his eyes wet with tears. "Mary," he whispered, "I was blind. I was a fool. I abandoned the woman who truly loved me, and I chased shadows. Please, forgive me. Let me come back home." Mary looked at him quietly. For years, she had cried for this man. For years, she had begged for his love. But now, she was no longer the abandoned wife. She was the proud mother of David. The woman who had endured and triumphed. After a long silence, she said, "Richard, forgiveness is not for you, it is for me. I forgive you, but things can never be the same again. You chose your path, and I chose mine. The only reason I will welcome you here is for the sake of our son. But never forget the pain you caused." Richard bowed his head in shame. From that day, Richard stayed close to Mary and David, but the spark was gone. He became like a guest in the home he once owned. Mary never treated him with hatred, but she never gave him the love she once had. David, though respectful, kept his distance. Richard lived the rest of his life with the heavy weight of regret, a man who once had it all but lost it because of betrayal. And so the story teaches us this. Light bulb: a man who abandons loyalty for desire will one day face regret. Love must be cherished, not discarded. Because what you neglect today may be the very treasure you'll need tomorrow. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Heartfelt Chronicles stories for more emotional tales coming your way.